Welcome back to the channel, everybody.
Welcome back.
Well, you can see Ellie's ready to work. Well, we got a beautiful day here. What is it, mid-October now, and we've been lucky because we've had decent weather for the last, well, all summer really. It's been kind of dry, but I mean, I call that decent for working anyway. And we are now at a point, we've been following along, where we've been working on these forms. We've got 3 of them now ready to go for concrete. We still got a little more work to do, prep work to do, but unfortunately we ran into a problem. We did schedule the concrete truck to come by for next Thursday early in the morning, and we still have a little bit of prep work to do, but we unfortunately are watching the weather very closely because we're expecting
we do have rain coming.
Yeah, next week. Unfortunately, out of all the times we're ready to finally pour our concrete after waiting, well, it's going to be a year that we actually moved to the property. It's going to be another 2 weeks. It'll be a year from that we moved here.
Yeah.
So we made some pretty good progress. We're pretty happy with the way things are coming out so far. So we're going to be doing the insulation and plastic vapor barrier insulation rebar. We're going to try and figure that out today. We've got some little chairs that we bought that go underneath the rebar. This has all been compacted. This particular form here is not going to get the haunches because other than in the corners, we did dig out the corners. This one here is a standalone container, so it's going to be for the solar panels and the solar system. So we weren't too concerned with it moving, or if there's any issues. Obviously it's a floating slab, monolith floating slab, so it's going to be 4 inches, 4,000 psi we ordered.
Yes. And
we're going to be putting the rebar, so I'm not too concerned. We're going to be putting anchors into this one to hold the container down, and but as for the other 2 for the barn, we did do haunches all the way around those 2 forms because we want those 2 to remain as much as possible in line. Obviously they're going to be the containers on top, and then we're going to be building on top of that for the barn. So we took a little extra precaution there to try and do what we could to make sure that those containers and those pads right there will be a little more stable, or a little more less chance of them moving or the ground heaving underneath it, with all the weight and everything on top. I think we should be fine. I'm not a structural engineer, but I'm just kind of using common sense and trying to figure out what will be the best way to do this. So to make it last, we'd like it to see it last for a long time, beyond our ears probably. So at any rate, so we're going to get started. We're going to be starting with this one over here. We're going to be doing the, we're going to cut our plastic. We just found out that the new code, I guess, is 10 mil plastic. So we're cutting some 10 mil plastic here. Not that we have to be code necessarily, but we actually just ordered 10 mil plastic, and it worked out that that's what was required in some areas. I'm not sure it's necessary for what we're doing even, but we're doing it because we know that there's a good amount of water in the ground here, and we want to try and keep some of the not condensation, but some of the water and vapor from coming up into the concrete. So I think get started. We got a beautiful day here, and we'll see how far we can get. We got all the rebar pretty much cut. I got a little bit of bending to do, which shouldn't take me too long, but I say that all the time, and then it ends up taking me longer than I think. So let's get started.
I've looked the devil square in his face, been a brother, a rebel, been scared and been brave. I do all I can to try and get home, but I can't make a promise on what I don't know. We pray to heaven and we fight like hell. There ain't no one to save us but God and ourselves, till they call me on back or they bid me farewell. I'll keep praying to heaven and fighting like hell. I'll take my chances and cash them all in if I've got any left after where all I've been. I chose this life and I'd choose it again. Father, forgive me for all of these sins. We pray to heaven and we fight like hell. There ain't no one to save us but God and ourselves, till they call me on back or they